Hey everyone, so the new expansion called Forces from Beyond releases today along with the new champion Kaisa, and I wanted to give you all 5 decks to immediately play day 1. So Kaisa is a 5 mana 4/4 with quick attack, and this new keyword called Evolve. Evolve grants +2/+2 once you've given or summoned allies with 6+ other unique positive keywords this game. And when Kaisa is summoned or on round start, if you have the attack token, you create a second skin in hand, which for 0 mana allows you to grant allied Kaisas everywhere another ally's positive keywords. And then once you evolve, she levels up, and then you get an ability where when you attack, you deal 1 for each positive keyword you have to the enemies or enemy nexus. Kaisa also comes with 5 different evolving followers, the first being Voidling, Belvethi Elder, Void Blaster, Hive Herald, and also Void Abomination. Her champion spell is also really good, which is Supercharge. So the first deck to go over is Kaisa Viktor. Viktor makes a lot of sense to play with Kaisa. They curve together really well with him on 4 and then her on 5, and he gets so many keywords very easily. And although most of his keywords are random, he always has the augment keyword, which will help Kaisa and the other evolve cards get very large attack. Also, since Supercharge gives Spell Shield and Overwhelm permanently, we don't have to hope that Viktor gets a keyword that will allow him to damage the enemy nexus randomly anymore. Since we can rely on this card, since we basically run 5 of it, since we main deck 3 copies, and since it's Kaisa's champion spell, if we double draw her, it'll also be a copy. Then we run some discard cards, which gives us some draw, but also gives us easy access to the challenger keyword with these flame chompers. It also lets us have a cheap elusive keyword trigger with the Daring Poros from Poro Cannon. Also, Hive Herald didn't make the cut in most of the other decks, but I feel with Viktor it actually makes this card fairly good. If you play Viktor on 4, you could have 3 bonus keywords plus augment by turn 6, and so it sort of makes it a cheaper Void Abomination. And then to top it all off, we even have some burn with Mystic and Get Excited. Next we have Evelynn Kaisa. So Evelynn is a new Runeterra champ. She allows you to run these Husk cards. Those are 1 mana 0/1s that have a random keyword, and whenever you play an ally, you end up killing them, and then you grant its stats and keywords to that new unit. And if you have Evelynn on the board, she also benefits from this. And so with all these keywords, it makes a lot of sense to pair with Kaisa. She also levels up from just a single Husk being killed, which would easily activate cards in Sarima that require you to level a champion. There's actually a lot of those cards, but I wanted to try Destined Poro in particular. It's normally insanely bad, and I mean it might still be in this deck, but as long as you've leveled a champion, the Destined Poro will actually transform into the Exalted Poro, which has 3 random keywords. Then we have Rune Runner, which will benefit from the Husks, and Void Abomination, as some endgame finishers. And we also get to run the Steam card, which gives Husk synergy but also has Scout himself. And so we have a lot of good targets to be shuffling all these keywords onto. Then we have Kaisa Pantheon. I've always liked Pantheon, and Kaisa basically seems like a female Pantheon from her design. They curve nicely once again, and Pantheon allows Kaisa to steal Faded, Overwhelm, and potentially even Barrier. You can get Fury and Faded from the Wounded White Flame. And being in Targon also allows for the ability to run Sparklefly, which for some reason has Elusive and Lifesteal, which would be really insane to be able to copy onto Kaisa, and eventually even the Void Abomination. Then we have Kaisa Tristana. So this is potentially the most meme since Tristana has never really been competitive at a high level, but it just seemed like a really fun idea. So Tristana requires multi-region allies, and these multi-region followers have a good variety of keywords. This deck can swarm the board easily, and once you play 4 multi-region allies, you start granting impact to them as well as attack, and then Kaisa could start stacking impact with her second skin as well. So Tristana can usually get pretty insane attack, as well as a lot of impact, but she doesn't really have a keyword that can actually let her do damage to face with it. And so being able to grant Overwhelm and Spell Shield from Supercharge is going to be really good for her. And so we have all these Bandle followers. Bandle Commando gives Elusive, and then Commando along with the Grandfather Fae give you access to these Hungry Owlcats, and those have Spell Shield. Seedling can either have Barrier or Impact depending on what you choose, and then a lot of these cards can be discounted by the Gleaming Lantern or Bandle City Mayor, and Mayor can also manifest you a multi-region follower, and those have quite a few useful keywords. And then I hate to say it, but Papercraft just fits so well here. Double Attack is such a scary keyword in general in Runeterra, and since it's on an attach unit, the double buff keyword can't be silenced, and so obviously this will be good on Tristana, Kaisa, or this Void Blaster which has Evolve and Overwhelm, and then Void Abomination will even come down with it later. So lastly we have Kaisa Akshan. This seems to me like it'll be the most competitive version. Akshan is just really good value, and Demacia is such a good region to combine with Kaisa and Akshan in my opinion. Demacia also has a surprising amount of keywords for what seemed like a bland region. We of course have Scout, and this version only from Blinding Assault, although you could easily add more options. Broadwing also has 2 keywords for very cheap, being Challenger and Formidable. Honestly, I'm sort of scared to put Formidable onto Kaisa, but I guess we'll see how that works out. And then we have this sort of meme card, but I really wanted to try it out in this deck. It's called the Silverwing Diver. It's not that great by itself, but giving Tough and Elusive to Kaisa just seems so strong. Then Radiant Guardian, with Tough and Lifesteal. And then we can combine all these keywords with Rally. Also, this is potentially a bug I heard, and so it might be changed in the future, or already if you're watching this in the future. But Sharpsight gives you the ability to block units with Elusive, and at the moment this counts as a keyword for Kaisa's Evolve condition, and so possibly allows that ability to be granted with Second Skin, and when you drop your Void Abomination. And so again, I'm not really sure if this is a glitch or intended to be the case. It sort of reminds me of the keyword Reach from Magic the Gathering, so maybe it is intended. But honestly, if it allows me to beat Bard Elusive decks even easier, even if just temporarily, then I think I might be down for the first time in my life to actually abuse a bug. So just a little disclaimer, these obviously won't be the most refined versions since the patch just came out, but they should be really good starting points to try out on day 1. And I'll make sure to play and refine these decks out in the near future, and give them each their own in-depth video, so subscribe if you don't want to miss those or any of my future videos. This new expansion has so many cool things to try out, and I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are too. If you guys have any suggestions, like improvements to these concepts, or decks you want me to play in the near future, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. That's it for me though. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.